in time. Brass. That pod right there. A lot of feet are out of time.
I could not imagine not being part of marching band. I feel like it was one of the best decisions I've made so far in my life.
Fisher's Tiger Band is a place where you can take a lot of people who might have different understandings about music or life in general or anything in between. Take them and put them together and give them a place to make friends and have an experience that connects everybody.
It's really cool to be part of something bigger than yourself, working together towards a common goal with a lot of other people.
You have to put yourself out there, and you have to allow yourself to be vulnerable and able to succeed.
This year especially, we've just been so quiet and focused in rehearsal, which has made all the difference, first of all, for how much we can get done.
As a result of what we accomplished last year, I think more kids understood that it was because of the way they rehearsed and the way they prepared and how seriously they took it, and everything that they did during that season led to what they were able to accomplish. And so I think there was more of an understanding of what we needed to do this year to be even better.
We have a very stringent practice schedule. We work very hard. We have these super qualified and hardworking staff, but it wasn't always like that. It used to be a lot more, we're just getting together, we're just having fun. We'll show up to semi-state, maybe we'll make it to state, who knows.
Just being in front of all these people, it's just the excitement, the adrenaline that you feel in the pit of your stomach.
I love the emotion that you get once you step foot on that field. It feels like you get so much hype from it. You want to just go out there and do your best.
Our culture is built on what we call this year the 3 pillars: respect, trust, and excellence. It doesn't have to be more complicated than that.
The spirit of band camp can be summed up with the fire hose analogy that Chad uses every year, all the time. That if you feel like you're drinking from a fire hose, just see how much you can get, and then we'll work with that. And that's really what it is for 2 weeks.
We talked about how to read a drill chart first and what all these numbers on this page mean.
It's probably the hardest 2 weeks of band, but I still actually enjoy it to an extent because it's just nice to feel like you've worked very hard.
I remember my first day that I was at band camp. You're afraid of what's gonna happen because it's hot and you've never had that experience before of being outside standing up for 5 hours at a time. So you just kind of want to sit there in the auditorium when they're saying, hey, welcome to band camp, for as long as possible before you get out there.
It's really, really important that we all learn our technique then and just really kind of get a feel for what the show is and be able to trust everyone that's around us. I feel like a parade's a nice break to learn something new and get to perform in front of everyone and just have fun, no pressure of competition or what we get, what we place. It's just more of being a part of the community and showing them we're here to hype you guys up, we're having fun.
In my opinion, the parades are probably some of the hardest things we do. It's not necessarily a physical thing. I mean, it kind of is. You get pretty tired during the parades, but it's more of a mental thing because you're just playing the same things over and over again. I mean, the parades are great. It's just they're very kind of mentally taxing in a way.
Our next group in Open Class A, please welcome Fishers High School Marching Tiger Band.
I remember getting over to Avon this year feeling pretty excited. It was our first time out besides the football games here at school, where we're doing the warm-up thing, the process for the first time.
We got to the site and I saw the students' nerves kick in because we hadn't been to a show yet. We talked about how to warm up and how to move from place to place, deal with the logistics. Not that the students didn't do well, they did well, and I was proud of their first showing.
The show's not finished. We had the first 2 movements on, and we hadn't even done the whole ribbons with the hats at that point yet.
Second place at the Avon Invitational with the judging panel that they had and all the other competition. It was still really good, and I'm glad we went there regardless, because I love going to competitions.
It's when you're stepping off the field and you know you just did a great job on the field that you realize all that effort I put in was worth it.
I love football games. I think they're my favorite part of being in marching band. It's so much fun just hanging around with the people that you enjoy in your section and dancing to the drum line and having a lot of fun.
I feel like it's, again, one of those moments that as a high school band kid, you don't get to experience like what it's like to be in the stands, but you have your own family out on the other side of the field that you get to be with and watch the football game.
A lot of it, like people in the band know how to have fun, and so they just let it out on football games. It's just kind of a way for us to connect with our school again. It's really cool to like show everyone at the football games like we're here, this is what we do.
Joining us from Fishers, Indiana, please welcome the Fishers High School Marching Band.
The Super Regional is something that, at least in my experience in this band, we've always done well with. Super Regional last year, we participated and made it into finals in our first try. This year, we participated again, and we placed another place higher than we did last year, which I was really happy about.
I love BOA because you get to see what like marching band culture is like around the United States, not just right here in Indiana.
That's one of my favorite parts, is being around the other programs, the other kids, the little retreat that they have at the end of the award ceremony, the little gathering we have under the tunnels right before we go on to the awards.
We were a month earlier than last year with the Super Regional, and we weren't as far along. Last year, the Super Regional was our last show.
I love performing in Lucas Oil Stadium. Just the feeling of just the crowd there. There's so many people, and there's just something about playing inside too that's really magical.
I remember them calling off the finalists, and they got to band 13. And they finally called us.
I think there was kind of some excitement for that particular show, and maybe some nervous energy from the freshmen and cadets, the first year marchers, because it's a huge stadium. So I remember my first time marching there, I was definitely pretty nervous about that.
Drum majors, the field is yours for ISSMA semi-state performance.
Going into semi-state, that was a particularly cold week, but I felt like the band was playing well. I remember being here at practice, and kids, lips would be, frozen to their mouthpieces almost, right? But
we got there at around, I don't know, it was maybe 12:30, and yeah, it was really cold. We were already in uniform, and we got out and unloaded the buses. And it was just freezing. It was probably like in the low 30s. I remember sitting in the bleachers for the next few hours after that, and I was just freezing the entire time.
Our next state finalist band, Fishers High School.
Hey, congratulations. I'm really, really proud of you guys, okay? To be honest with you, I didn't know what to expect because it was cold. We always said trust the training, trust the product, trust the design team. We certainly have to journey together and take each step in tandem with each other. That's more important than anything else. I just want you to reach in your heart and just be kinder and be a little bit more efficient and to be a little bit more grateful and feel a little bit more blessed of where we are.
Drum Majors, the field is yours for Indiana State Finals championship performance.
It was exciting to go back for our, second year at state. It was nice to go back to Lucas Oil, and it's always fun going there.
Going in music warm-up and standing in arcs and knowing you're about to go perform, it's really nerve-wracking, but it's really fun when you're doing it.
I feel like our run at state finals was the best run of anything that the band or any organization or musical organization at this school has had. It was so nearly perfect, at least based off of like what we were going for, both visually and musically.
Class A, 7th place. Fishers High School.
You're starting with nothing at the beginning of the season. You invent your concept, you get the music arranged, all that starts just, it's just a total creative process. It's not necessarily about being better than someone else either, or the comparison between your band and the next band over or whatever. It's just about kind of the ideal in your head of what's the best marching band sound that I can dream of, and then how close are we to that? Well, Grand Nationals is the biggest kind of marching band spectacle that I can think of, and it really brings this year 100 bands. It's usually 100 bands or more, right? From all over the country. There were a couple bands from Hawaii there even.
It's a culmination of some of the finest programs in the country, and really it's a celebration of a lot of the bands just supporting each other and appreciating each other and appreciating each other's music and variations on the music.
Our Grand Nationals preliminary run was probably the best run of this show we had ever had.
It was really neat after prelims to see a lot of them come off the field with tears in their eyes because they knew that their season was coming close to an end.
We thought for the first time out, we didn't really have a lot of expectations about where we would end up, but we also always hoped that semifinals would be a really nice place to be in for this year, and we made it.
When I heard that we made semifinals, I started jumping up and down, and I accidentally punched a wall, and it really hurt.
I was driving my sister and I to Taco Bell and Zaxby's, our post-competition ritual, and we're pulling into the driveway, and my sister reads that we made it.
I was in my living room, and I was with my mom and my dad, and we were just watching the live stream, and when I heard them call Fishers, I literally screamed, and my mom was like really scared when I screamed because she thought I was hurt, but I was so excited.
I was actually at home in the office sitting with my mom, like watching it live on Facebook, and as soon as they said our name, I started like tearing up because I was so happy.
I was sitting in my mom's bedroom and we had a live stream on her phone going, and then my mom just kind of like shook me really quick when we heard Fishers announced, and we were all really excited about it.
Then we went to semifinals, performed in the afternoon. I remember thinking that was an even better run than the night before. And then we went to go eat, and we all celebrated, and we had a great time. I thought Grand Nationals went really well. I mean, for our first year being at Grand Nationals, making semifinals is a pretty big deal.
You could never do this without parents. They're the best. I mean, this organization is huge when you count not just the number of kids that we have in the marching band, but everybody that they're associated with and everybody who comes out to help. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of volunteer time.
Our show this year could not have happened without the parents.
There's a lot of work that goes into taking the show somewhere else, and also taking 2 semi-trucks to just do a show seems a little bit extra, but it's what's required.
I think it's amazing what some of the parents do for our program and for like the uniforms and helping out with instruments and everything. They give a ton of time to the program. And
from everybody who builds props and helps with the assembly of all that stuff to people who help on competition days, work with uniforms, people who provide food for the band, and people who just do other services.
Hollywood was a really cool experience, and I just had a ton of fun with the people that I enjoyed. I got to see a bunch of things I never have before. I've never been to California.
All these landmarks the tour guide was showing us, it was all very exciting. Then going to Universal with everyone, we were all going on rides, we were having a great time. There's just a lot of excitement in everyone just to be in LA, I mean, really.
You spend the entire season with your friends and you're competing and you're having a lot of fun. But then we got to go to Hollywood with the same people and like let loose.
Just being able to walk across like the Chinese theater and the red carpet and all that, very cool. I was having a great time at the parade.
It was cool to see how excited people were to like be taking pictures as we were just standing on the street to say, look, it's a marching band. They got weird hats and instruments and everything.
I hope that these younger people push as hard as they can and work as hard as they can to be the best this program they can be. And if they do that, if they give it their all, then I will be proud and I will have nothing more to say.
The environment of striving for excellence, you either buy into that or you don't. And when you buy into it, you do wake up every morning wanting to do that activity and wanting to be excellent.
The real reason we do this is just so we can do our best and become better people, which I feel has been, that's what's happened to me. I mean, I feel as if I'm a better person than when I came in here.
The hardest part of my job and our job is to train, teach, drive, implore students to do something that they're not comfortable or they're not willing to do because they don't know the end result, even though we've done it for 20 years and we've seen the outcome of hours and hours of blood, sweat, and tears and hard work. And then they reach the end of the season, it's a shock. And the students, you could see in their heads already, they're thinking, what am I going to do after this?
It's the bond of knowing that like everyone else is trying their best. So you feel like everyone else is depending on you to try your best. So if you try your best and everyone else tries their best, then it just brings you all closer together.
I mean, never before have I been in like a group where people have actually cared this much about an end product.
The most important part of this program is the people you're surrounded by.
We're never going to stop getting better. We're never going to stop our discipline of trust, respect, and excellence.
That feeling of getting on the field, that feeling of being in front of a cheering crowd, that feeling of months and months of hard work being put together for this one spectacle is like, it's unlike anything that you can experience, really.
It's that feeling that you get when you set foot on that field and when you express yourself. It feels a fantastic feeling that you get inside of you.
I don't think I've ever worked as hard for something as marching band. I feel like this is the one thing where I put all my energy into.
The best part about marching band is you always find that there's another point that you can go to. You never reach the destination. It's all about the journey and where that takes you.
I'd say this journey is about as exciting and as satisfying as it could ever be.
I received a letter this year from an alum from 10 years ago. It just made me cry and told me about what was going on in their life at that time. I would never wish that for any student in the world. And to know that they said that that band, marching band, was their family. It was their home. It was their faith. It was their safe place. And it was the only thing that kept them alive. And when you read something like that, you know you're doing something right. Because that's what it's about. That's why we're here. I'm not here for the trophies. I'm not here for the awards. Those are nice, but they all sit on the shelf and collect dust eventually. But it's about reaching one student at a time and teaching them how to be strong in character and to be dedicated and be persistent and to push and to care people around them. There's a lot of negativity and hate in this world. And I think band should be and can be and forever will be here at Fisher's a safe place.